Welcome to another how-to on the Spindatt channel. Today I'm going to show you how to take a regular kid's bike and turn it into a balance bike. This one on Spindatt's arbitrary scale of difficulty floats right around easy, and on the equally arbitrary frustration scale, right around the low mark. This one's a good one to take on and get done without a lot of time spent on it. I'm gonna be using some park tool stuff here. Don't let that distract you. You've probably got the tools at home to do this. If you've clicked on this video, I already know you can do it. The goal here, it's simple. All a balance bike is a bike without this on it. So what we're going to do is remove all of this and leave us a spot for my nephew to be able to run along. And when the time comes, when he gets used to it, as far as I understand it happens pretty quick, we can put this stuff back in. So this plastic cover, find the bolts for it, take it off. It might actually be the most frustrating part. That's right here. And we've got the plastic bit off. The bike actually looks better already. Yo, that's sick. When these cranks and pedals go back on, the plastic guard is not going on as well. Okay, next up is to pull off the pedals. Now, when it comes to pedals, the easiest way to know which way to turn them, because one side is reverse threaded, is that tightening the pedals always turns towards the front of the bike. Loosening them, you pull towards the back of the bike, and that will loosen them off and take them off without cross-threading or doing all that good stuff. Typically speaking, pedals are a 15 mil wrench. And just set those aside, don't lose them. Eventually, whoever is going to be riding this balance bike will grow up and will want that stuff back on, so try not to lose it. Some chains will have a master link in them. I just checked this one, it doesn't. So you're gonna need a chain breaker. I use a pretty heavy duty like shop level chain breaker from Park Tool. By no means do you need one like this heavy duty that does a lot of chain breaking. I'll link a couple below, but breaking a chain is really easy. If you had the tool in your hand, you'd instinctively know what to do. Push the pin just before the pin wants to fall out completely, back it off. See how I've got the pin still in there enough that it didn't fall out? This is just the kind of thing that makes life a lot easier when you go to put everything back together. And boom. So now the pin is still in there, pretty much there. The next part is probably the most intimidating of all, because one-piece cranks are just kind of weird, but we gotta pull them out, so let's pull them out. An adjustable wrench here, totally adequate. Adjustable wrench doesn't fit on it, grab something else. Not the right tool for the job, but I won't judge you if you do it, so don't judge me for doing it. So you see how there's two slots here. I don't have the proper tool for this. There's like pin spanners that you can get. I use needle nose pliers because a lot of times these aren't very tight. And then you just kind of get it in there in a way that you can turn it. Okay, slide that out. This is the bearing. But see how the inside of this is threaded and then it has that bit of grease on it? That is the bearing race. These bearings actually sit on it like that. Kind of cool, right? And now you can fish this out the other side. Just be somewhat gentle with it. And you have the cranks out. Now the inside bearing races, they're still in here. These can be pressed out if you want. I would say for simplicity, just leave them. However, I think I'm gonna knock them out. Now, one thing worth noting, if you've done this, you've now opened the bottom bracket up to the elements. What I would suggest doing is getting a little bit of like rust check or rust inhibitor in general and just spray it down all of the tubes just to give some protective coating to all of the unpainted, untreated steel on the inside, and then you know that it's going to last a little bit longer. I plan on taking this apart a little bit further and giving it a full like Spindatt paint job, doing some tires, doing some other stuff. But essentially this thing's like ready to go now. Now that's the easy how to build your own balance bike for your kid, for your nephew, for your niece, whatever. The real question becomes, why? Well, first and foremost, I think it quite simply goes without saying, cost. It's like a huge cost savings to not buy an $80 balance bike on Amazon that you can't put pedals back on and use after someone starts to learn how to ride. If you build your own from an appropriate sized kid's bike, pull the cranks out and maybe do a couple things to it if you want to. When the time comes, you can put the pedals back in and it's still usable for like however long, I don't know how kids grow, pretty fast, I guess. And two is the undeniable, proven fact that putting like a kid or anyone, I bet anybody, on a balance bike to learn how to ride, like completely accelerates the learning curve. I mean, I think it flattens the learning curve in general. And then that kid can like maybe get into BMX or mountain biking or something, like anything other than scooters, and life is good. I feel like maybe if I had a balance bike as a kid, I wouldn't be so far behind and I could do stuff like that better, but I'll try it again. Entire life I have wanted to learn no-foot cans, and for some reason I've struggled with them forever. I believe that if I had a balance bike just like over there, this would have came a lot sooner. I mean this completely wholeheartedly. There is nothing better than the feeling of like starting to land something, starting to make something work that you've been wanting forever. And I think that's like the real why for a balance bike. When you're a kid, it's the same feeling as like right now, you just don't know how to express it quite as well. And that's why you need a balance bike. The reason why you want to do it this way, well, it's because like it's so cheap. It's just such an inexpensive, fun, tinkering way to do it, along with the added benefit of actually being able to put your pedals back on. It's pretty windy. We're calling for like 150 millimeters of rain in the next 3 days. That's supposed to start in the next like hour. I'm super glad that I came out because I'd be so grouchy without getting to like touch a bike outside for 3 days. That's just the worst. Try to ride in the rain anyway. We'll figure out a how-to for riding in rain for the next 2 days. Suggestions welcome below. Actually, further to all of that, because I think it's important, this was $15 to purchase. The ones on Amazon are like 80 bucks, but more importantly, like my nephew, Grayson, he's like this tall. He's huge, he's massive. He's a giant 3-year-old kid. And most balance bikes comes in, that, like, don't quote me on this, I'm not actually sure. Most of them come in 12-inch, but buying just like a pedal bike, kid's bike, allowed us to go up to a 14-inch. So I think this as a balance bike is actually going to fit him better than him towering over a 12-inch. Tinkering with a bike like this kind of opens up all those options for you. You can actually get a balance bike that might fit and last a little bit longer than what a 12-inch one would be. But besides all that, that ends this how-to and the why. I hope you got something out of it. Anyway, yeah, that's how you do it. $15 balance bike. Just like that. Just like leaving a bunch of room in the budget to just go so unbelievably over the top later on.